worked with the Grace Community Center for Christmas, providing gifts for families and food. We have worked with our Cherry Street Mission, and that has been a delight, the pleasure to see the people receiving food and all the people within our church that contribute to that, either preparing or serving the meals. I mean, it just comes from their heart. But the greatest thing is to see these people actually receiving the meals. It's been a great triumph for all of us. When the flood hit Findlay, we thought, what can we do? And everybody, all these places had collected bleach and things, and I thought, we've got to help them. We've just got to help them. And we called a lady from another UCC church in Findlay, and I said, can I meet you? I've got water, bleach, mops, and what have you. She said, oh, Findlay's a mess. You need to come down, and I'll meet you in the little town of Arcadia. So I met her there. I had my granddaughter with me, and she goes, wow, when I opened up my little SUV, and she goes, you have a lot? And I go, oh, I didn't think I had a lot, but if you can share this with your church, I would just really appreciate it. And she goes, could I ask you? She said, how do you get your church to do this? She said, we just haven't, she's not ashamed to say, we haven't provided anything for these victims. And I said, well, it's just kind of like a field of dreams. You build it and they come when we ask, and they donate. Missions are important as part of our Christian walk, because I remember reading in Scripture, basically in a nutshell, you never know when you're looking into the eyes of God. I think I've seen him a couple times down at the Cherry Street Mission.
The Back Bay mission trip was important to me because I got to go help people who really were in need of help and didn't have anywhere else to turn. So it was really, I felt good about doing the whole project, and wish more people would do that. We should be mission-minded in this church, because this community as a whole is pretty well blessed. We don't do without, and we have the money to do things, and we should help people who don't have the funds or means to help themselves.
One of the things I liked most about the Back Bay Mission Trip was that our church had never really come together for anything for adults to do in the way of an outreach trip like that. It's always been youth-oriented, and I really liked the fact that it brought the church together to work on fundraisers for the year. I think we had a lot of support, a lot of prayer support, a lot of financial support, and I like the fact that that got the whole church involved, not just the participants of the trip. I think that St. John's should be very active in spreading the news of Jesus Christ and going out and being disciples, as we're called to do. And that goes out into all places, not just our church family, but again, the broader church family. There's a couple of goals that I'd like to see for missions for St. John's. One is trips like we just took to Back Bay, having more adults be involved in that type of thing, as well as the youth. So I'd like to see more of that. But I also like to see some outreach to those in need within our own community, whether it be those who are sick. We've talked about taking meals to them, buying a freezer so that we could cook meals and store them and take them out as needed when someone's sick, or cookies for a new baby, that kind of mission, to let them know their church family is thinking about them, and that would be a local type mission.
A missions-minded church is a healthy church. I talked with a leader in another church one time who was worried about how his church was going downhill, and he said, we need to get a new pastor in here whose first priority is the survival of this church. If you're about survival, you're not about mission. If you're about taking care of yourself, you're not about God's mission. Being about mission is about looking out and helping others. At St. John's, there are a number of different groups and individuals, too, that have taken on missions that are important to them. Consistory sponsors a child. Every meeting, they take up a collection that goes to that boy. The senior high Sunday school has taken on a number of missions, and they'll ask the church for donations. One time they were collecting blankets for people that were cold. Another time they were collecting vitamins for children in Africa that were malnourished. Right now they're collecting stuffed animals. And I know of at least one parent that's very excited about that because it's a way that he can teach his daughters how important it is to share with others. The Ruthenians has a very special, unique ministry where they minister to grieving families by providing a meal after funeral services. You might be in a small group in the church. Maybe you're part of the choir. Maybe you're part of a book study group. Maybe you're in a Sunday school class. And the Lord has put on your heart, there's someone that we need to reach out to. This is a permission-giving church. You feel there's a need? Go for it. That's what a missions-minded church does. God has gifted every Christian, and certainly every Christian at St. John's United Church of Christ, with a spiritual gift, some special talent or ability given by the Spirit of God to do God's work. We've also been given resources, money, treasures, and we've been given the gift of time. My hope for 2008 is that for St. John's United Church of Christ, it will be a year when every single member will participate in one way or another, in one mission or another, showing the many facets of God's concern for those who are most needy. How is God calling you to be a part of mission in 2008?